Hey, welcome to Corbellic Studios. I'm Corbellic. Today we're going to be doing a reaction video to one of my favorite artists on here. One of my favorite artists. I mean, he got me into the whole prolific game of creating a bunch of art to have no ego involved, but just feel like a child again. I mean, he sells his artwork for expensive amount of money. I'm talking about over $100,000 for one of his pieces, but he's also more prolific, more free, and he creates hundreds of pieces of art, probably in one day, just because he moves so fast. His name is Simon Bull. All right, so we're going to be watching some Simon Bull videos right now, how I was able to get started, and all I ever wanted was just to have a warehouse like him, have a studio like him, so that way I could have a lot of the storage space to create art, and then I don't have to think anything about it. I could just get on to the next piece, and that's all I ever wanted, because I was spending too much time trying to make these Mona Lisa beautiful paintings. You know what I'm talking about, where I'm trying to be perfect and I need to make sure that the art sells for this amount, but you can't control the market. You don't know what you're going to create. And one of the things that I always like to say is that I go into the studio with the mindset, hey, today I'm going to create 100 paintings and hopefully I like one. Hopefully I like one painting, and maybe some days I don't even like one, but it's up to the market, and the market might say, you know what, they liked all of them. But that's what I love about Simon Bull's paintings and the videos that you're going to watch right now, is that he's not worried too much about what the market is either, because he knows he can't control it. Instead, he's being a child. He's just creating. He's doing different types of art. And then a lot of times the market, they end up buying you because they know you're prolific. They know that you have the confidence to show up to work. So that's what we're going to watch right now. Hope you enjoy it. Let me know what you think. All right, so this is Simon Bull right here, and this is him in his new studio. Look at his new studio. And you can just see all the space that he has. And I think this is only one side of the studio, but you could just see all the shelves that he has. I mean, this is for large paintings, because unlike us on the eBay side, he has different galleries. So he has his own gallery that he sells out of. He has his website that he sells out of. So it's mostly large pieces of art, but he sells small ones too. But I mean, look at this. And the reason that he has, look at this. Look at this. Look at this space. And these are just some of his canvases, but you can see these are just some of his canvases, but you could just see where he has them on deck. He just has them ready. He has so much equipment. I mean, wait till you see the videos of how much paint that he actually keeps. But that was just one section of his warehouse. I mean, we need to be in that type of mindset where we bet on ourselves. We have enough storage space that we could just create whatever we want. And it doesn't matter, because as long as it's listed, that's the fun part for me. I don't know, that this is what pushed me into my mindset of how to create so much art, is this mindset where it's like, I can do whatever I want. I'll just store it and I'll list it. There is no wrong. Look at that. That's all golden paint. Look, that's just the blues. That's just the blues. This is probably just one section of where his paint is at. He uses so much paint, but it's not even just like regular paint like we use with Liquidex, or we use some Blix acrylics or things like that. He uses golden paint. You know how expensive one of these bottles are? We're talking one of these bottles is like $50. It's probably even more now with inflation. I don't know. I haven't bought it in a while. Look at this. So much space. Let's go to the next video. Let's see what he has. So let's just see how he works. I mean, this inspired me right here, how he works. He'll line up canvases on the table. And this is how I work my canvases. Now, I don't do it like him with the paper towel. But you can if you want to, just so that way you could get through paintings faster. But I just feel like it was just too much paint. I psychologically, I can't waste that much paint like how he does it. Because, I mean, it adds up. It's just like wasted money. And, I mean, we're doing it for eBay, so it's just a different mindset. But it's so cool how he goes about it. Look, so he does it the same way where it's like he works the background, and then you could just see, look, he's doing 4 canvases at a time, and he's doing these flowers, and then that's it, and he lets it dry off. But you see how he wets it first, so that way he the paint actually look there, so the paint actually goes through. This is how I do my table art. I like to line them up on the table, and I'll do flower pieces just like that. I'll do them free-handed. I won't even work off of the projector that way. Let's check this one out. And that's like all gold, golden paint. You know, you could tell it's the gold color, and he only uses golden paint. Now, a lot of his abstract pieces, he'll do the same thing too, where he'll have like a spinning canvas, and he'll just splatter paint on it, and then he'll call it a day. That's it. He won't do no characters, no nothing. That's it. Look at that. Isn't that beautiful? That was the finished product. He wasn't. But how he does that at the end, he doesn't use a paintbrush to do like the trees. He actually uses the squirt bottle, or the bottle from the golden paint, and then he just lets it dry. Looks like cake. Look. So he doesn't use a paintbrush. He just uses the flow from the bottle. So those are the golden paint flows, and he'll just do it that way. He does it so quick, and he's on to the next one. All right, let's see this. He also does paper studies. So he got me into doing paper studies as well, where I call them Japanese ink. So you could do different ones. So I do birds like this. I do birds, trees, flowers, and it's monochromatic. So people love it. These sell a lot as well too. So feel free to do this. Same thing. I used to do, so at a time I would do like 25 to 50 of them in one session, just different ones. And they sell. People love them. Look, just like that. There's so many of those that I would do, and I got the inspiration based off of him. So you can see right here on this cup that he has on the side, what he'll put in some of that just like a black from the golden paint, but you could use any black, and then he'll just water it down just a little bit, so that way it flows like an ink, but it still has a little bit of strong pigmentation on there, and then he'll just do that. Look. But you can also see the type of paintbrush that he has. So I've done so many of these. All right, let's see his next work. Now, I was inspired, when I call it Japanese ink, I was inspired by the actual Japanese who do calligraphy. So I would do a lot of pieces that was also calligraphy pieces, and that had that wet look of ink on there, where it would be different things: trees, flowers, birds, dogs, even faces, portrait faces, women's figurative women. So look at this, for example. This is beautiful, but she does it from a bigger paintbrush. Look at this. And you get to see the elegance of it. And I guarantee, like, on her website, she sells these for 1,000 or maybe a few hundred for sure. Now, would somebody say to her, "Oh, that's not art"? because it only took you 5 seconds to do. She would be like, no, but it took me years to figure out how to do it with that type of confidence and velocity or grace. Look at that. Look at that hand. Look at that. I love it. I love it. So also be open to do calligraphy or do pieces like this monochromatic. I've sold so many monochromatic pieces like this. And look, just like that, look how it looks. So she has hers based off of this, right? Which is in I'm Japanese. But what I would do is I would do abstract pieces where it was like a strong circle or even an infinity look, right? And I would put them on 18 by 24, or I would put them on different pieces, either larger ones. And you could just do that for yourself as well too, and just see what you have and make it look confident. Of course, with a large brush stroke or now this is also Simon Bull as well too. Check this out. So this is more performative, and listen to the crowd. I mean, what are they cheering about? Like, I mean, what are they cheering about? Look at them. Oh, wow. It's so great. Now, look, don't get me wrong. A lot of Simon Bull's art, I'm not really into, right? But what I like about him, what makes him one of my favorite artists, is his hustle. Is I like the work ethic, and I like any artist who can remove themselves from their ego by just creating art. So even though this is just funny to me, it's just like performative art. Performative artists is it's funny. I think what I'm going to do on these reaction videos, I'm going to have a lot of videos where we show performative art, and it's not to judge it because I respect all of it. It's just the humor in it where other artists, they take themselves so serious and they feel like they got to have 100 hours of the polar bear hairs. I went to art school so I could do this all day in the studio. All day I did this in the studio. And this guy right here, he made more money than the polar bear artist who spends 100 hours doing each hair. Now, I have respect for even the polar bear artist, right? Who's doing the polar bear hair. I got respect for them too, because maybe the hustle is them just recording the video and saying that they did 100 hours of it compared to Simon Bull doing this for 10 seconds. And then he auctions this off at the event or the mask or whatever. He auctions it off for 100,000 or 50,000, right? Or even if not that, he still gets his name out there where he did this piece right there, and you could use that actually for a business sense. So I have respect for that, for the hustle and the worth ethic, because some people's ego's so involved they wouldn't even do this. I love it. I love it. Now check this out. This is Simon Bull again, where we can see some of his paint. That's just some of it. Look how he works it. So these right here, these look like these are 12 by 16s. We work off of 12 by 16s, but you can see how he lines them up. He wets the canvas first with, you can see he always has these spray bottles. I always have spray bottles as well with just the water. And he sprays it first, puts in his color, and then he's able to get his background colors fast. You can do this too if you want to. I'm all about working the background colors first and trying to do them fast in bulk. You can, in comparison to one by one. I've done hundreds, thousands just like this on my table, thousands, and it's all because of him. Look at this. He's just abstracting it. There's no rhyme, there's no reason, there's no ego involved. Look at that. There's no more paint in that bottle. And you can see he's doing, so you can see these are all flowers, but look how much paint that he's putting on here. And I think that's part of the whole, like the whole brand for him. Why his paintings cost so much is because he's using this many layers and this much paint. So when people see it, part of his brand is him making these videos showing how he's doing the artwork, how much paint it is. And I'm telling you, these things sell for thousands of dollars. These things right here. I personally can't do it. I can't imagine spending this much money on golden paint and having that much. And I wouldn't teach, I don't teach this in my community as well either, because we're all about flipping the dollar right on eBay and making the quick sell. There's no way I could do that because it adds up and it would eat away at your profit. And we're not going from the gallery perspective like he is. But I just love the work ethic that he's still putting into it, because he's working faster than I am. He's working faster than any of us. And we can mimic his work ethic of how he's producing on the table, and he's not worried about what other people have to say. You know how many people come into his comments and they try to hate on him and say, oh, that's not art, this thing, that ain't this and that ain't that. He's not in there reading any of it, liking it or any of it. He's not in there responding to any of it because he's just producing. He doesn't have time to go back and forth what people perceive as art, because he's making his money. Look at this. No paint, no paintbrush. And then he lets it dry. He puts his signature on there. Look at that. Puts a heart on there. And then that's it. But look how quick it took him, where he was able to do a series of them, of 4 to 5 of them. All right, let's go into this video. Look, he's got those dried out. I mean, he's working so many of them. He's working so many of them in a day. He's got so many different sizes of canvases. He won't run out of canvases. That's another reason why he's free to create. And that's something that I talk about too, from the scarcity mindset, where when you only have so many, you're going to be coming from a mindset of scarcity. So you're going to want to create everything to be Mona Lisas. Unlike him, he doesn't care, because he has the storage space, he has the warehouse space, he has plenty of canvases, he has plenty of paint. So he's able to just work. That's all I ever wanted to do. That's all I ever wanted to do. I just want to be able to work with no ego and not care. That was a lot of white. But I think he watered that white down into it. It looked like a milk jug. Look, he's still spraying it down with water. Look at this. No ego. And look, I don't know if you're paying attention. This is not a table. This is another canvas. This that he's smearing it onto, that is another canvas. So he'll do stuff like that too, where he'll smear and he'll just put another canvas of whatever the paint is on there, the abstract, and he'll put it onto another one for the background. He doesn't care. There's no rhyme or reason. It's just about getting on to the next one. I love it. Now he's using that as his trees. So that's going to be his trees, because that's what he does all the time. And he loves using the paper towels. He goes through so much paper towels. He uses the paper towels to smear and wipe his backgrounds. He uses the paper towels, the rolls like that, to get his trees in. He'll use any kind of cheap resource. And that's what it's all about. That's what you could do too. It doesn't always have to be the expensive routes. Things don't have to always be complicated. It doesn't have to be expensive brushes. Look at that. He's not using a brush. I love that. Let's see this one. Hold on, let me reload it. And then he'll do that as a background, but then he'll wait for it to dry, and then he'll probably do like a landscape on top of it later on. That's how he likes to work. But he's just doing anything that he wants. Or what he'll do, he'll just sell it just like that, you know? Like, let's check this out. Here, let's restart it. Ah, it hurts me. It hurts me to see how much paint that he uses of the golden brand. I just can't imagine doing that. It's so expensive. But you can see how many paintings that he always has in the background that's just drying. And he uses the same method on those. He's not using the brush, he's just using the bottle. Hold on, let's restart this one. Because he also does stuff like this too. When I'm talking about that, he does abstract, like performative art stuff as well too. He'll either spin stuff around or he'll do things like this. Now look, this is the cool thing about him. He'll do paintings like this in the background. You see these flowers? These are beautiful. So he'll use the bottle on these and maybe like a paper towel. Sometimes he does use the brush too, but not that often. I mean, he's like a variety of it all. He's kind of like how I work, but he's to the extreme of level of it. I mean, I wish that I could be like that. That's what I aspire for. And, you know, like I said, I'm not into most of the art per se. I'm just more into the hustle, but I like his hustle so much and I like his mindset of how he goes about it, where it makes me love all of the artwork. And that's what I was saying as well too. When it comes to some of your buyers and collectors, you're going to get to a point where they like your art because of you, and they like that you're prolific, that you're showing up, that you're a professional in letting go of your ego. And that's what's also going to carry along with you. So look at this piece right here. Like, he's not having, even though he could do flowers, he could do all that stuff if he want, but he's really also having a variety of art where he's selling this. Like, he has a finished piece right here and he framed it up, right? And that he'll sell it, but he has the storage space for it. Look, and he just, so this body of work, this is 3 different paintings. Now, I know some art snobs out there, right, who went to art school and he's paid $100,000 to go to art school. They wouldn't teach this in art school, right? They teach you how to be perfect and like how to do things with the composition and the exposure rate and the saturation and the color theory. He's not worried about any of that stuff on here. Look at him work. He doesn't care what you're talking about. And he's still able to sell these things for thousands of dollars because it's not based on that. Now, the person who you need to be arguing with, the person who you need to be trying to sound judgmental on is not him, but the people who's actually buying his artwork, which is the collector. You know, that's what I say sometimes. Like, anytime I would hear somebody try to have like a judgmental view, or if they have something to say about the artwork that we create or that I create, I go, what are you telling me for? You need to say that to the collector who's buying it. Because as long as they keep buying it, I'm going to keep making it and making different versions of it. I'm an artist. We are a business. We are not in this to just do hobby art. You know, we're not in this to just play around with it and create pieces that our friends and Facebook is going to like for free. Nah, those days is over with. This is a business, and he's treating it like a business, and I respect it. I mean, look at that. Come on, how can you not be inspired by that? Let's see on this piece right here. Check this out. All right, so he goes through so much paint. Look how much golden paint is on the floor. Look how much paint is on the floor, right? And look how much paint is left on the table. This video was so cool right here because he's standing next to the collector. So remember, we just got done talking about the collector right now. Don't judge us as the artist. Judge the collector who actually wakes up in the morning, they go to work or they have their own business, and then they decide out of their hard-earned money how to spend it, who to give it to. They want to give it to him. So he's not cutting any corners. He's not being mysterious. The collector is standing next to him and he's producing the artwork right now. He's going to produce the artwork next to the collector. So that way there is no mystery involved where it's like, oh, I spent 30 hours on this painting for you. No, he's doing it right now in like 30 seconds, like in 3 minutes. And I guarantee you this collector spent thousands of dollars for this painting. So you think that the collector cares that it only took him a couple minutes or so? No, look, this is the collector. And he's producing it right in front of him. No ego. No extra mystery that it's taking him 30 days to do and 100 hours on the panda bear hairs or the polar bear hairs. Look how many layers of paint that is. Looks like sunflowers. And it's all intuitive art. Like he knows a kind of concept of what he wants to do, but he doesn't know what's going to be produced. He doesn't know the full outcome. Look at that. I love that. Let's see this one. Whoa. Yeah, you see all of that. You see all of that paint that's right there. I mean, yeah, I mean, here, I got to take the sound off of this. I don't want to get a copyright strike. Look at all of that paint there. Look at that. That's heavy body too. That's heavy body. That's not even the liquid one. And that's probably like for one painting. I can't imagine doing that. I mean, that's more paint than what I even put on my palette for one day. And that's one painting. Let's go to his profile and let me see. There's this other video that I wanted to show you if I can find it on here. But you can just check out his artwork that's on here, Simon Bull. I mean, it's beautiful, and there's no ego involved here. This is the videos that I wanted to show. Oh, let me pull this down. Did here? Oh, here it is. All right, let's see here. These are the videos that I wanted to show you. All right, so here let's restart this one. All right, look at this video right here. Here, let me turn the volume off so I don't get a copyright on that one. But here, you could just see how he works. He's not using any paintbrush, and you can see how he was able to get his lines on there so he could get his trees or his flowers. Look at that. And then he'll sell those. Very simple, minimum. There's not too much thought into it. Now, it only took him less than a minute or so. Okay, maybe more than a minute, right? But you get what I'm saying. And he has so many of these. Takes good picture of it. Boom, listed. No ego involved. Get that money, Simon. Get that money. All right, let's go to the next one. Now, this is crazy. He put on here, new start. Here, let me open this up. Look at this. He put the caption on this one, "New Start." That's just crazy. I mean, there's so many paint. There's so much paint right there that's still full. Look at all of that paint. And he's just putting it in the trash. Look, a lot of those are full with paint. I can't watch any more of that. I can't watch any more of that video, to be honest. It's just killing me, like, to throw that paint away. But to be honest with you, I think he's trolling us because a lot of people say that he does waste a lot of paint. So I think that he's just trolling. There's no way in the world that he would just be throwing away this much paint. I mean, all for, like, that's thousands of dollars of golden paint right there. That's just thousands of dollars. So let's see. Look, he puts it right there, and then he puts it to the side. Yeah, look, he's not throwing that away. I don't believe that he would throw that away. He's just trolling. All right, let's see here. And then let me show you this video, and then this will be it. I mean, there's so many videos that you could watch. Taste the warmth of winter wine. And this is him with a mop stick. So this is him with a mop stick right here, and then he's just, or a broomstick, and then he put different towels, paper towels rolls on there. And look, that's how he was able to get his quick trees on there. Look, you see how he was able to get his quick trees? That's it. No paintbrush, no nothing. And that's large body right there. All right, so there we have it right there. That was Simon Bull's videos. I hope you enjoyed that right there, and these reaction videos that we have. So that way we could just look at certain artists and maybe their styles, and maybe you can find some motivation or inspiration in it. But you know what I always say, the action comes before the inspiration or motivation. You just have to show up to work. But at least that you get to see it and you get to be open in your mind that someone at his caliber, he's faster. He's not attached to his ego. And these are ways where it's like, you know what? We don't have to be as well either. We don't have to listen to the outside noise, and we could just show up to work. So if you like this video, let me know in the comments. You could also do this for yourself. Click the link below. Join us in the eBay art community. So that way you can do this for yourself. Everything is built out for you. You can start making sales as early as next week. You don't have to have experience. You don't have to have social media. Everything is mapped out for you. I'm going to check you out in the next video.